members. ASLEF claims there haven't been any meaningful negotiations this year as their members walk out across the country. Members of the RMT union will go on strike tomorrow. NHS workers belonging to Unison in Wales have voted to accept a new 5% pay offer plus a one-off payment. It's after a similar decision by the union's members in England. 4 people have been arrested over the death of a man found with multiple stab wounds in his car. The 29-year-old was discovered in a grey BMW in Lewisham in South London on Wednesday afternoon. LBC's Emma Core is in the Ladywell area where it happened.
Paramedics tried to save the 29-year-old man here just off this busy road. The Met say what happened here in broad daylight in the middle of the afternoon with many witnesses has shocked the local community, and they are now putting more officers on the streets in this area while their investigations continue.
A 42-year-old man has been charged with criminal damage following the destruction of cameras used to monitor London's ultra-low emission zone. 96 allegations were passed to the Met by Transport for London. And the Chancellor says there is more to do to encourage growth in the UK economy. Official figures show GDP fell by 0.3% in March, but edged up by 0.1% over the quarter as a whole. In the city a short time ago, the FTSE 100 was trading up 21 points at 77.52. The pound buys $1.25 and €1.14. LBC weather, a largely dry night, cloudy for most of England and southeast Scotland, clear elsewhere with some fog and mist developing, lows of 4. Largely dry and sunny tomorrow with low cloud lingering in places, a chance of the odd shower in the southwest, a high of 21 degrees. From Global's newsroom for LBC, I'm Amelia Cox.
This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Tom Swarbrick.
Just gone 4. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Tom Swarbrick at Drive here on LBC. Hope we find you well. Coming up.
It's not xenophobic to say that mass and rapid migration places pressure on housing, public services and community relations.
Net migration could top 1 million, experts say, as the government mulls tightening rules around student visas. Should overseas students studying for 1 year be allowed to bring dependent family members? We'll discuss. Plus,
will nothing ever unstick the Teflon Don? I'm Simon Marks. My American Week is at 10 to 6.
Call 0345 60 60 973. Tweet at LBC. Text 84850. Tom Swarbrick on LBC.
very good afternoon to you. Brexit voters, come hither. Gather round. I am here with a deep and thoughtful question for you. And to be honest, I just want your instant gut reaction. I want the Brexit bone in your body to start quivering at the suggestion of this question, at what it entails. I want you to, if you wouldn't mind, please have the phone in your hand ready dialed with 0345 6060 973. I want the number installed in your phone already, the phone in your hand to press dial instantly as soon as I ask the question. We'll put you straight through on air, okay? No messing around. You have to have voted Brexit, and I just want your gut reaction. Your gut reaction, your inner Brexiteer voice let loose on the radio instantly, telling you what the answer to this question is. Okay, this is a bit like fastest finger first on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. You remember that? So quickest to dial gets through. Yeah? Okay, eyes down Brexiteers, have the number ready to dial. It's 0345 6060 973. Okay, here we go. That's a good decision to play that is. Good thinking, team. I like this. Here we go. Brexiteers, you were made a promise that the thousands of EU laws that the UK abides by would be repealed and replaced. You were told it was part of taking back control. That promise is not going to be kept. The question is, do you care? Do you care that those EU laws will stay on the statute books? Does it matter to you that that promise is being removed? You know the number to call. First Brexity caller comes straight through to air to answer that question. A very simple question. Do you care that EU laws will remain? That the promise made to you about repealing and replacing those laws has been broken? Fastest finger first. You know the number to dial. 0345 60 60 973. We have a caller on the line. Sean's in Concert in County Durham. Sean, are you a Brexit voter?
Biggest mistake I've ever done in my life, mate. We should go back into Europe.
But you're happy to commit to having been a Brexiteer?
I am, mate. I feel absolutely ashamed.
Sean, let me ask you this question then. Do you care that the EU laws are not going to be removed, repealed and replaced from the UK statute book? Sean?
I want to go back into Europe, mate.
Sean, you won.
What do I want?
Not a lot. None of us has. Bernard is in Mile End. Hi, Bernard.
Hello there. Hello. Yes, I would hate that we just abolish thousands and thousands of EU laws without looking at them individually, because many of them are in fact protecting workers, and workers' rights will just disappear overnight.
Why then? Explain to me this. Why then are some of your fellow Brexit voters so angered at what is a display of complete and utter pragmatism?
Because basically they don't really care. You know, they're not worried that working people will lose many of their basic rights.
Well, they say they're not going to lose those rights. We accept those rights. We're just looking for those EU laws. EU laws is already quite a complicated phrase and probably needs some explaining. We just want those repealed and replaced and made into UK laws to amend and change as we see fit, as Parliament decides.
Yeah, well, basically the Brexiteer part of the Conservative Party don't want to select the laws they want to get rid of. They just want to sweep the whole lot away. And now that that may not happen, they're very upset.
So what are the laws that you think should be done away with?
Well, that's you're asking me a question. I can't answer that exactly.
Okay. But isn't it astonishing? Is it? And I understand that. That's okay. You're not. I don't know if you're necessarily involved in the intricacies of every single piece of EU-derived legislation.
No.
That's fine. But it is quite astonishing, isn't it, that the Conservative MPs who have been calling to leave the EU for generations don't seem to know either, according to the Business Secretary.
Well, that is astonishing. That tells you that when this referendum the campaign of this referendum went ahead, not even the people who wanted to leave really understood what it meant.
And do you count yourself among them?
Well, I voted to leave.
I know.
I bitterly regret that I did do that now. I wish I hadn't.
All right. Bernard, thank you very much indeed. Les is in Dundee. Les.
Yeah, hi, Tom. I voted to stay in.
You voted, sorry, what?
I voted to stay in.
Les, then, I'm afraid this is the wrong moment for you, my friend. Right? It's Brexit only, Les.
If they're going to keep all the, what do you call them, things that they were going to cancel, good. That's what we need.
Well, I know you'd say that. I don't know. Les, I don't know. Did he lie to you? Did he cheat? Was that his phone a friend or something? Did he just call up a Remainer? Right, Les, no, thank you. Jimmy's in Chadwell Heath. Jimmy, you voted to leave. Your gut reaction?
Yeah. Yes. And I stood outside the polling station that evening with a mixture of migrants, English people, Asian, black, Irish, and we all discussed it, and a common factor was, we came here for a better life and now we're struggling to get that better life because too many people are coming into the country. And now we have less control over immigration than we had then.
Completely untrue, but carry on.
Sorry?
When you say we have less control, in what way have we lessened control on immigration?
If you look at it now, it seems that there's more people coming into the country now.
There absolutely are, yes.
than there was when we were in the EU.
But that's not a question of control, is it? That's just numbers. The government has total control on the numbers. They are admitting through the visa routes, students, and we'll talk about it in more detail later, students, work and others, more people. That's control.
Yeah. Yes. But
so what they've said to you, Jimmy, is we want to take back control. They have that control, and the numbers have risen massively to the point where net migration may well be over 1 million.
Yeah. Well, it seems to me that that the government can't be trusted on anything. I mean, if I was looking at EU law, one of the things that concerned a lot of people was that if someone was here from another country and they committed a crime, we couldn't, expel them from the country because they had a human right to family life and had to remain in England.
But of course, that's not an EU law, is it? That's a separate body. That's the European Court of Human Rights. Very different from the European Union.
I'm misunderstanding it then, because I did think it was a European law.
Okay, so when it comes to the question of whether you care about the repealing and replacement of these 4,000 laws promised to you by Brexiteers during the campaign and the government since, do you care, Jimmy?
I care, I do care that what the government, introduces to the people, that they do try to carry out those promises to the people.
Even if the promise to the people was one that couldn't really be kept, because it is totally impractical and a complete waste of time to try and undo about 4,000 different pieces of legislation.
Yeah, which they probably knew.
So you were promised, again, almost like you were promised something that the people who were in charge either knew that they couldn't make good on, they just sort of lied to you, or they didn't know couldn't happen.
That's correct. So
which is worse, actually.
Did Boris Johnson make the promises to get into power?
Okay, so we're now back to the question of, was it lying, or was it just that they didn't know?
Absolutely, it was lying, it was dishonest,